Is it crazy or autocracy? Or what type of crazy is that? Except crazy.
News making the headlines.
Black Maria is to carry criminals, trading looters that are in government today.
Sometimes it gets confrontational.
Slap you in the face.
They don't put words into my mouth.
Whatever it is that will bring our military to disrepute, I said to hell.
On Court Digest,
I want to know why I should be believing them.
Every weekday, we bring all of these together and take them to the court of public opinion.
Everybody has a right in Nigeria.
Where you are the judge.
You're welcome back. If you're just joining us, you're on to Cultivate News, and it's our breakfast program, participatory, ever steamy, Court Digest. I got my guest in the studio now. They're very fiery and social commentator Nelson Ekujumi. Nelson, it's a sad day, week in the annals of this country. We are at war. That's what a lot of people are saying, aren't we?
Well, I wouldn't want to say we're at war, but what is happening in our land calls for sober reflection by everybody, and I think it builds on us all to also be ready to play our parts to see how we can avert or prevent the recurrence of these daily killings, which doesn't portray us in good lights, and which in a way shows that we are not in tandem with modern realities of civilized engagement in resolving issues. It is a sad day. I think everybody should be sad, and we must be thinking in our various ways, or wherever we may be, of looking at how we can get out of this cul-de-sac that we have found ourselves. Because looking at the pictures, it could have been your village, it could have been my village. But we must at all times maintain our sanity and not be so much incited to want to pour out our emotions based on this reportage. But we should implore the security agencies who are constitutionally empowered to investigate and identify these perpetrators, that they owe a duty to make sure that they fetch out these criminals and their sponsors, and that they are made to face the music for what they have done in desecrating the land and violating our constitution.
Nelson,
yeah,
this is not the first time this is happening, even in the entire Enugu state.
Yeah.
It's not the first time this is happening in the southeast, in the south, in the middle belt that stretches to Taraba,
yeah,
and the rest.
Yeah.
Has one Fulani herdsman been caught or prosecuted before?
Okay,
to your knowledge.
Yeah, thank you very much. I think we must get one fact clear.
Okay.
And that fact is that these clashes of herdsmen and farmers has a history. You and I know very well. I grew up in this country, and this problem didn't start with this administration. It has been on for long. You and I are aware that in those days there existed a relationship of oneness, of brotherhood between the farmers and the herdsmen, in such a way that we are told, even though my father was not a farmer, in which we are told that farmers invited the herdsmen to bring their herds into their farmlands
after harvest
to pollinate the farmlands,
yeah,
for planting. So you and I must be disturbed that what's happened to that relationship that has turned it into the state that we are today, that they are killing one another. And I can tell you categorically clear that the reasons are not far-fetched. The reasons is the failure of the state to do what is right in maintaining the harmonious relationship between people, between occupations, because of the fact that we are very, very much aware of what is known as cattle rustling or cattle theft, whereby some people will go after herdsmen, they will kill them or maim them and steal their cattle. And we are aware that because of the failure of the state to respond appropriately to this criminality against these people now felt that, look, since the state cannot take care of us, cannot protect us, I think the most appropriate thing for us to do is to take the law into our hands by harming ourselves. And don't forget, in the strain in that relationship was also due to the strain between the farmers and the herdsmen. The herdsmen now came to see farmers as people who were collaborators or sponsors. They viewed it from that micro perspective, which we don't have the fact. But like I said earlier on, the state is culpable. If the state had protected the herdsmen when their cattle are being roasted, if they had protected them when they are being killed, they wouldn't have the guts. Like we heard reports of some of them carrying AK-47. You and I want to ask that did they just start carrying this AK-47 yesterday? Definitely we know that under the laws of Nigeria, an individual can never get a permit to carry an AK-47. You can only be given permit to possess other firearms. So, and even the use of this AK-47 involves training. You can't just carry an AK-47 and know how to deploy it, how to manage it in, carrying out what you are supposed to do with it. So you should ask, where were the security agencies when these people, why are they not disturbed? How did these people get these firearms? How did they acquire the training to be using these firearms? And again, we cannot rule out the political undertone in this matter because of the fact that our country, except if we want to behave like the proverbial ostrich that hides its head in the sand while the body is outside, we have a recurring, a persisting ethnic and religious tension in the land. We are all aware of what happened prior to the last elections, where the campaigns were majorly based on hatred because somebody is from so tribe, because somebody is practicing this religion or not. So we should be concerned because, like we say, we should be bothered that these killings, did they just start yesterday? What was the history? What is the history of the relationship between the farmers and the herdsmen? Because we are aware that they had a very, very good relationship. Where did it go wrong? Who is to blame? And until we do that, I don't think it is appropriate for us to just take the matter on the crux of the matter on the table now and start apportioning blame. We must look behind to see where we are coming from in order to chart a path so that we make sure we avert
Nelson, it's becoming very costly in charting a path. Costly in the sense that you've mentioned the failure of the state in protecting its people, a fundamental right in the Constitution.
Very true.
The state has continuously failed the people in this matter and in other incidents and the rest. Plateau State has become calm, relatively, we would say, after more than 10 years.
Decades.
Prognum.
Yeah, very true.
You understand?
Very true.
Killings in Plateau State, if they put it together, could measure to the kind of genocide committed by the Boko Haram, where over 10,000 Nigerians have been killed, and that is spread again to Benue State, and gradually is coming down south. You get the point. The worrisome thing is, yes, state failure, including the security agencies.
Definitely.
What is the directorate? Does the Directorate of State Security still have relevance in this country, in this matter?
They have relevance.
They still do?
They still have relevance. But the reality on ground today is that they have failed us, in performing their responsibility. We must not miss words in saying it. It's not only the DSS, because the one that occurred in Enugu, we had reports that there was a forewarning that we are coming to attack. That is why the conspiracy theorists who have now alluded to the fact that these killings could be as a result of the infiltration of the Boko Haramites who are now using another face since they have been incapacitated by the military in their so-called enclave, are now using another face, another strategy to get at the people.
Nelson,
Yeah.
Boko Haram,
Yeah,
inhabiting. It is
not impossible.
No, one theory. Yes. I just want to look at the path, right?
Yeah.
The Sambisa forest.
Yeah.
Would they have trekked to, the southeast,
Oh.
or would they have
Christian,
come by vehicle?
Christian,
Okay.
are you unaware that Boko Haram members
They have cells.
have been arrested in Lagos? That they were arrested in Ogun State, that they've been arrested in Kogi State, and what have you. So we are talking about terrorists whose power of causing collateral damage has been so decapacitated that what they are now doing is using soft targets and coming up with other means. The issue of the teenage bombers.
But the DSS in Abia State did not say that. They were very categorical when the Director General said it was the independent people of Biafra who killed 5 Fulanis in that state. You remember?
I remember very well.
And they are not saying that the herdsmen or anybody is disguising as Boko Haram.
No, you see, developments come up every day.
So within a fortnight now, this has happened.
Security challenges come up every day. New people, as like we say, people who want to commit crime try to develop new strategies, to beat the security agencies to their game, and it is not left for the security agencies to be alive to their responsibilities, to beam their satellite. Even this theory we are saying that we are alluding to, it builds on them to investigate it, because it has to do with the lives and properties of people. And like we all know very well, the primary responsibility of any government is the security of lives and property. And where this is lacking, the government is believed to have failed. So I think at this stage we should be very careful, because for some of us, this issue of Fulani herdsmen, don't forget why it has gained this notoriety is because of the fact that, one, some of us believe that it's payback time by people who are still aggrieved over the elections. Yes, and it is not impossible, because you see that those who are lashing on to this cry of Fulani herdsmen, the president should speak, the president is the leader of is the grand patron, is this and that, and you and I know very well that even till now the president has issued statement condemning it. The IGP, when he was in Agatu to investigate the Agatu killings, I read it explicitly where he stated that the president has given him the express directive to fish out the criminals. And even as at yesterday, we heard that the security agencies were deployed immediately to go and curtail the criminality, even though
hours after they had left.
Yes.
Hours after.
Yes, and because security is not about running after criminals after the crime has been committed. Security is about preempting it, nipping it in the bud before the crime takes place, because a life lost can never be recovered. So that is why we must hold the security agencies responsible that they are not alive to their
now Nelson, look at that, another one that is very worrisome. You understand, in the heat of these killings, which has become incessant, as if Nigeria is now an abattoir where human beings are like chickens and goats and the same cows, and you just slaughter them, right? And the Inspector General of Police, what concerns him now is the issue of hawkers of petroleum products, the black marketers. Is that what should be bothering us as a country? If the product is available, will these people be hawking fuel?
I think I read the statement. Even I had to post it on my timeline, and I've read the comments of people on my Facebook timeline. And for me, I think it's misplaced aggression by the police to an issue.
Misplaced priority.
I agree, misplaced priority and misplaced aggression, because ordinarily those people getting the fuel in jerry cans, bought it from the fuel stations. They didn't import the fuel. And you and I know very well that if we are to implement the law the way it is a crime, it is a violation of the laws of the land for you to sell fuel in jerry cans, because the law states the requirements for you to operate a fuel station. Because ordinarily what they have done is that they have started operating their fuel stations. But what the Inspector General of Police should be concerned about is to ensure that the allegation that some of us have investigated and have found that to be true, the diversion and hoarding of petrol by the fuel stations all over the country, that the police should act and ensure that those violations of the constitution, that the culprits are arrested and prosecuted. Because in the last 1 week thereabout, I have been privileged to have information that the NPMC is supplying over 400 trucks of PMS to Lagos per day, while the requirements of Lagos per day is just 250 trucks. So you want to ask, where did the 150 go? 150 plus go? And for me, at times when you go on the road and you want to count the fuel stations having petrol, you want to ask that, is it a reality that 400 plus trucks have been deployed daily? But from the figures coming out, we can see that is the reality on ground. So I think what should concern the police at this point in time, apart from their duty of maintaining law and order, is that they should ensure that the issue of hoarding and diversion, which is inimical to the economic well-being of the Nigerian people, is arrested immediately, rather than running after hawkers who are hawking fuel. Because if the fuel are abundant, are available in all the fuel stations, even before we had this fuel scarcity, when there were fuels in the stations, who was hawking fuel on the streets? Nobody. But the fuel scarcity that we are living with now, it's the consequence is what has led to the hawking of fuel. That you even see people who have means of business have now resorted to fuel hawking, because they see that is the business that is thriving at this point in time.
Let's look at the mathematics of the NNPC and PPMC, saying that they deploy 400 trucks to Lagos.
Over 400,
over 400.
433 thereabouts.
But it's not all the filling stations that are selling fuel, even as at that. That is one.
One, okay.
All right. Then, secondly, the trucks are still streaming, from all over the country into Lagos, and yet we are told that Warri, Port Harcourt, and now Kaduna refinery is up and running. Yeah. So you're talking about a quantity of between 8 and 9 million liters of petroleum, of PMS fuel. Yeah. You understand, being distributed nationwide. Why do we still have the scarcity?
Why we have the scarcity, I can explain it very well. Why we have the scarcity is that the oil industry for a long time has been immersed in massive corruption. But today we are lucky we have a minister as well as a government that is prepared to take on this rot headlong.
Okay.
For the first time between January to March, we didn't pay a kobo for fuel subsidy. And this has been a recurring decimal in the past. Because even the president, when he was coming in, he said the issue of fuel subsidy should not arise. That they don't, and even as at now, the minister has come out publicly. I was at a town hall meeting in Lagos
2 days ago,
where the minister enumerated, of which I, as a citizen, because I've been very, very concerned about this fuel issue, I have put everything I have into monitoring it. And what is happening is that, as of today, over 10 depots have been revitalized that they are working.
The NNPC
depots that way. Yes. Today, in close to a decade, NNPC is now pumping fuel from Lagos to Mosimi depot. They are pumping to Ibadan.
Are they pumping to Ilorin?
I don't have the
Are they pumping to Suleja?
No, you know what they are doing for Warri, Port Harcourt, and some other areas. There's some other areas that have
Enugu and
yes.
Yeah.
What they are doing is that, like they said, they will lighten the cargo, bringing the fuel.
Yeah.
When a big cargo brings the fuel, a small cargo will go and take that fuel. Those small cargos are now betting in Port Harcourt, in the waters, in the ports in Port Harcourt, the ports in Warri, to service those areas. So we will expect that the traffic that is coming to Lagos would have been reduced. But what is happening is that while the fuel scarcity has continued to linger on, and for some of us, we are worried about the functions and the response of the Department of Petroleum Resources, because the fuel stations and these people who I will call economic saboteurs take the fuel from the NNPC, because the NNPC is so important now because of the fact that we have the issue of scarcity of forex. They will collect this fuel, instead of them to put it in the fuel stations to sell, they will take it to the suburbs where they sell this fuel at above the official rates. And when you complain, we have their numbers, we have their Twitter handle. When you call these numbers, a week after, you still see these fuel stations selling those fuel at above those prices. And a lot of fuel stations that are supposed to be dispensing this fuel to the people are not dispensing. So you ask, where is the monitoring and enforcement
DPR
of the DPR?
Yeah. It's all right, Nelson. We've made some kind of digression there. You understand?
Definitely.
Because it's a national
problem. Yeah. We will have to talk about it.
We'll go on a short break. When we return, we'll continue with our topic: the Fulani herdsmen killings, another Boko Haram in the making, and would thereafter be opening our phone lines for our viewers within and outside Nigeria to call us and join us on the program. Don't go away. Stay with us.
Every day, every hour, and every minute, news break in Nigeria. Things happen so fast, it's most times difficult to track and comprehend them. But that's what we do right here on Digit 360. 2015, would you want to come back again?
It's like asking Jesus Christ if he knew he was going to die, will you want to come back as the savior of the world again?
We do not just help you track the stories, we break them down, explore all the angles, analyze the issues so that you can fully comprehend the stories and use them to make the right decisions.
Core TV News now live on all Androids.
Welcome to Core TV Primetime News.
Download Core TV News app from your Play Store. Click on the menu to see all our top stories from politics, sports, business, foreign news and live TV to watch us live on your mobile.
I want to know why I should be believing them.
You can also click on video to see all our YouTube videos. Core TV News, a 24-hour news station. You can now watch Core TV News live from anywhere in the world on our website www.coretvnews.com. Click on Live TV on our website and watch us live.
And welcome to Core TV Primetime News.
To follow us on Twitter, click on Twitter icon on our website. On Facebook, click on the Facebook and YouTube to see all our previous news production. You can also watch us live on YouTube. Click Core TV, leave a space, then News. Core TV News, a 24-hour news station.
For topical issues, Nigerians must have something to say.
Arms. We don't need arms for anything. Let them put it into education.
They need to buy another arms now. What are they fighting for? Boko Haram. Government should deal with them squarely.
Please help us bring back our guests. No money, no markets. We are dying. Everybody is crying. Nothing.
Any man God support, no man stops.
It's a prophecy I believe he must have received from heaven. Yes.
The people giving voice to the voiceless.
Core TV News now live on all Androids.
Welcome to Core TV Primetime News.
Download Core TV News app from your Play Store. Click on the menu to see all our top stories from politics, sports, business, foreign news and live TV to watch us live on your mobile.
I want to know why I should be believing them.
You can also click on video to see all our YouTube videos. Core TV News, a 24-hour news station.
Is it warcracy or autocracy? Or what type of crazy is that? Except crazy.
News making the headlines.
Black Maria is to carry criminals, treasure looters that are in government today.
Sometimes it gets confrontational.
Slap you in the face.
They don't put words into my mouth.
Whatever it is that will bring our military to the secret, I said to hell
on
with it.
Core Digest.
I want to know why I should be believing them.
Every weekday, we bring all of these together and take them to the court of public opinion.
Everybody have a right in Nigeria.
Where you are the judge.
All right, you welcome back. If you're just joining us, it's Core Digest, Fulani herdsmen killings, another Boko Haram in the making. That's our topic, and I still have my very good friend here, Nelson Ekujumi. Nelson, the National Assembly yesterday rose with one voice to say that the herdsmen attack and killings is a dangerous trend that can divide this country.
Definitely, it is a dangerous trend that can divide the country because it is already stoking up ethnic tension. But like some of us want to say, because we are desirous of living in a peaceful society where every man or woman can, explore his or her potentials.
But if the other man is not giving you peace or is not giving you cause for that sense of belonging.
But the truth of the matter is that an eye for an eye will make the eye go blind. For some of us, the mere reportage or eyewitness accounts that these are herdsmen should not authenticate the identity of these criminals, these killers. That responsibility is that of the police. And we must charge the police to wake up to their responsibility to do the needful in order to ensure that the security and peace of the country is not undermined. Some of us are very, very disturbed because
it's already undermined now, because you remember the Inspector General of Police saying in Agatu, where well over 500 people were, killed, and that, the herdsmen are foreigners and the rest. Then what is his own responsibility and that of his minister in charge of internal affairs?
To even the director of intelligence, to ensure that the security, the borders are tightened in such a way that we can fish out these infiltrators that have constituted themselves into another Boko Haram in the making. I think that is a responsibility that one will expect that the National Assembly should summon the security chiefs, because this is a national emergency at this point in time, to come and explain what they are doing to ensure that this criminality is nipped in the bud, is cut short. Because I am worried as a citizen when I wake up in the morning and I read news or I hear reports of people being killed just in the exercise of their vocation or their occupation. And for us, it's a threat to the peaceful coexistence, because people have tried to latch on to this idea of stoking up ethnic tension. But we must admonish that no matter the situation on ground, we must always maintain our sanity, because violence begets violence, and the society will suffer for it in the long run. So we must encourage our people to maintain the peace, and as well as admonish the authorities to live up, to rise to the occasion and exercise their constitutional responsibility, because it is their duty to ensure the welfare of lives and property. I wouldn't subscribe to people taking the laws into their hands like what has happened in this
But
situation.
but the anger is spreading and it's rising over this killing.
Yes, the anger is
because you can. I mean, open the dailies, look at the pictures. They are not phantom stories.
I agree. They are not phantom stories.
So how do you?
But the anger is justified from some angles. But from some angle, we know where they are coming from. We know what they represented about this present dispensation in which the Nigerian people are, having a say.
Nelson, it will be difficult, for some of the people out there to believe what you're saying, that to want to taint, the anger, maybe in the light of political differences.
Of course, you can't rule that out.
It cannot be.
No, I've just told you, and I will re-emphasize it, that the anger from some quarters is justified. The anger from you and I is justified. Yesterday, I didn't sleep until 2 a.m. because I wrote an article on this issue in which I highlighted all these points. That why we are here today, that some people can be taking the laws into their hands, is because the state failed to protect them.
Yes.
And you and I know the consequence if we encourage the other party to also take the laws into his own hands. It is dangerous for the existence of all of us.
Yeah.
So we must encourage people entrusted with constitutional responsibility to live to the billing. It is not right for us to sit down here just because somebody said it was X-Men. That is the police. It is the police that can identify.
But the people that are attacked, can't they identify?
No,
who will be the witnesses?
Okay, wait.
It's the people there.
They will identify, but who has the power of prosecution? The eyewitness account or reports, we only aid the authorities in carrying out a thorough job. We will not jettison that. But some of us are very, very careful because of the fact that the ethnic, political, and religious tension in the land is very, very high. And people could be mischievous. That is the warning. I'm not saying the acts didn't take place. What I'm saying is that at all times, we must maintain our sanity. We must not look for shortcuts. If you tell people to take the laws into their hands, you are looking for shortcuts. And that could be catastrophic for all of us. What we should do is that in all situations, we must make sure our head is still standing on our neck to say, no, this is the right way to go. Because if we allow these killings to degenerate to the level that we encourage others to take up arms as well, innocent people will suffer. Why the X-Men, from our own research, why the X-Men have become this violent is because in the past, their cattle have been rustled. They have been killed. When they report, the security agencies are not doing anything. Nobody is arrested. You are aware of a bishop in Jos, maybe last year, early this year, who said the business of pastoring eggs was inherited from his great-grandfathers, that they came and rustled all his cattle. But because he's a man of God, he reported to the security agencies. Recently, we had reports from the media that cattle rustlers were arrested in Kano. I hope you remember.
Go on.
And arms and ammunition were recovered from them. When we are in this state, we must look at where we are coming from. These people have a history. There was a relationship that existed between the herdsmen and the farmers.
So what went wrong in that community now? What could have gone wrong so suddenly?
What could have gone wrong is that the social relations has broken down. The state has failed in exercising its responsibility, because you don't expect somebody to be so courageous, to be so emboldened to raid the community and kill people at will, just because they know that they have been doing it in the past and nothing happened. But we must say the time has come to put a stop to it, because this is capable of undermining the security of lives and property of every Nigerian, and it is not acceptable.
It is indeed not acceptable. Let us at this juncture invite our viewers to join us by calling us on our number. It will be right on your screen there. Yes, it is there. For our international viewers, you can call us using the international code +234 816 481 8001. I'll take that again for the benefit of the unsighted. Calling from outside Nigeria at the international code +234 816 481 8001. We're waiting for your calls, particularly our viewers within and around Enugu State. Nelson, we as a country, we just seem to be going round in circles. This has happened now, and you and I don't need to be soothsayers or prophets, modern day prophets, to tell you that, look, Nelson, it's going to happen in another community.
Definitely.
Another 50 or 100 people are going to be killed.
Yeah.
Where is the Nigerian Intelligence Agency here? Where is the Defense Intelligence Agency? Where is the CID? You know, today's Criminal Investigation Department men that you see, they dress very haggard, you know, unkempt. They are like, you cannot differentiate them from the downfall drivers and the rest. Those people I used to know in the good old days would dress like bankers, clean and mingle with you, clean shaven and everything, and they are able to gather intelligence and nip situations on board. Where there is a big gap here.
Yeah, the situation we have found ourselves today is an indictment on the state that the intelligence gathering of the security agencies is virtually not working, because you expect that in normal crimes like this occur once in a blue moon, because we know that criminality, security challenges cannot be totally eradicated. But the intelligence arm must always be on top of their game to ensure that such havoc are nipped in the bud. Because when they happen, the consequences, the psychological trauma that Nigerians are going through at the moment, it can be better explained.
Yeah.
So, with the situation we have found ourselves today, it shows that the intelligence arm of the security agencies are not working. And that is why we must call on the state to rise up, because that is the only responsibility we owe the citizenry.
Your namesake is calling from Benue. Good morning, Nelson.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, thank you very much for joining us, Nelson.
Yes. I want to pitch my tent with Nelson in the studio there.
Okay.
I want to pitch my tent with his line of reasoning.
Go on.
You see, if you look at the sophistication of these attacks, how sophisticated it is, you realize that it's not the normal activities of the headsmen that lives amongst us, you know, in our villages and all that. I see a calculated attempt to set Nigerians against each other on ethnic and religious borders. And that's why I'm beginning to think seriously that there is a political undertone to these happenings. What I want to say is this. I want to appeal to Nigerians to make sure that they are not pulled into this plot of setting themselves against each other. We must maintain our sanity. We must maintain law and order. We mustn't take law into our hands. And last, what I want to say is this. Security is the business of everybody. Those that are the enemies of our national harmony are not asleep. And so we must not fall asleep when they are not asleep. It's time we start watching out for our security. I'm not saying we should pick up hands to defend ourselves, but it's time Nigerians start being very, very vigilant. Very, very vigilant. You know, if the Enugu community people and even my own Benue people were vigilant to an extent, I can tell you that the casualty will not be as high as what we're seeing today. So it's time we become optimally vigilant. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much, Nelson. Well, he's saying that now it's the responsibility of the people to be up and doing too in their community and the rest. But Nelson, you even mentioned the situation where you go and make reports before the police and they say, well, they're helpless.
Yes, I think I totally agree with what my namesake said. Because I read a report about this killing yesterday, and somebody was saying the villages that have been attacked are Christian communities. I was saddened. That why is somebody bringing religion into an issue of criminality? When those people came to kill, I'm not sure they were calling people out to say, are you a Christian? They came to wreak havoc, and we must condemn it. We must not stoke up the embers of ethnicity in this matter. That is why we must encourage our people. Like I said, we must ensure that we have our sanity. Because if everybody takes the law into his or her hands, it will be an eye for an eye. And it is dangerous.
Okay, let's hear what Praise from Enugu is going to say on this issue. Good morning, Praise. Hello, Praise. Good morning.
I'm very, very happy to be on air to watch and available to watch this program. It has been a wonderful day.
All right.
Likewise, actually, when I called last time, when there was a killing in Delta in Abra, I like that this thing will still be continue happening to Nigeria because Nigerians are not safe.
The line isn't too clear. Yeah. Praise, let us just hope that you'll be able to call in again. It was kind of intermittent breaking there.
And look at these killings that happened in Enugu State. Why it should be of utmost concern to all of us about this new dimension.
They got 3 days information that they were coming.
Yes, why we should be concerned about this new dimension of this Boko Haram that I will call Boko Haram in the making is that the people that committed this crime, they came into that state through a route. They were not dropped from the moon. They must have stayed somewhere to perfect their plan. They must have carried out their surveillance. So you want to ask, where were the security agencies that were supposed to have nipped this?
Absolutely. And when it happened, a caller here yesterday even said that they got information that they were already in Kogi State.
So you see that the state, like I said, is culpable. But we, the citizens, like Nelson also said, it is high time we watch out, because some people in this country are determined to incite the people against the government. That is why for every issue, they bring up the sentiments of ethnicity and religion, and they are politicizing it. And for me, it is inhuman, it is barbaric for you to play politics with the life,
with human lives.
With human lives. You know, it is unfair.
I just can't understand it.
I just can't. As I'm sitting down here, some of my best friends are Muslims. Some of the people I relate with most are not people from my ethnic stock.
Yeah.
Because one should relate with people on the basis of their character.
Yeah.
And not on the basis of where they come from.
Absolutely.
Because where you come from, you don't have a hand in where you were born.
Yeah.
You were totally helpless.
Absolutely.
It was where the Creator wanted you to go.
Yeah. Let's join Festus in Delta State. Good morning, Festus.
Yeah, good morning.
Yeah, where in Delta are you calling from? Okwani?
Yeah, I'm calling from Okwani local government in Delta State.
You're calling from where?
Okwani local government.
Oh, yes, Okwani, because I know Okwani, you've come under a lot of attack from these Fulani herdsmen. Are they herdsmen or are they Boko Haram or cattle rustlers?
They are the cattle rustlers. Yeah. The truth is that we need to be on the screen for us to analyze what really happened. The truth is that this government will disappoint us. The truth is that if we rely on the government, there's nothing can come out of it. To my own opinion, everybody should rise and put up their own fight. If some people can reduce the community with an arm, this one is not just an double barrel. that these people will take it to heaven with sophisticated weapons. The question is that how to get money to get the people. And if you say we plan with the next week of the government, when will the government come? Like yesterday, people today, in my own community, yesterday, those people were to farm. They kidnapped and they beat them yesterday, send them back. They report the police station and the police said that they can't do anything. So if for the people that cannot do anything, are we working on will all be killed? Or who are we working for? I think everyone should buy. If some people can carry arms, let everybody carry arms and do it wrong. And the government will come and settle the whole issue.
Well,
but if government is active, if government can act very fast, and if they follow the government and government can respond very fast, they will solve the issue. But if the government is not responding, so if we make the government respond, we are waiting for those guys. What government will do? I think you should ask that question.
All right, thank you very much, Festus, calling from Okwani in Delta State. Because
I disagree with the position of Festus because it is inimical.
I know you will disagree.
I disagree because I'm for peace. I want to wake up, be rest assured that my children are safe, my community is safe, my state is safe.
But if you're not guaranteed,
if I'm not yes,
what would you do?
That is where the danger lies.
That's what Festus is saying.
We must also encourage people like Festus to realize that the security agencies are peopled by members of the Nigerian community. Yes. We have people from various tribes in the security agencies. Nobody can tell me that a particular tribe have been brought into their community as security agencies to collaborate with criminals. We have Igbos in the security agencies, we have Yorubas, we have Efik, we have Ijo, we have every tribe in the security agencies. But what we should do at this point in time is to engage in advocacy. We want to know what is the capability of our security agencies. Where are they lacking that we must continue to talk about so that the government
you know all what, like the police, for example, whose constitutional duty is to secure life and property eternally. Yes, you know that they lack 1,001 things. Look at the average policeman. Does he have a walkie-talkie?
No,
is this how police people are treated in other parts of the world?
That is the fault of the
is that how they are treated?
Even their numerical strength is grossly insufficient. That is another angle we should look at.
Okay, let's speak to Umba from Niger State. Good morning, Umba.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Thank you very much for joining us.
Yeah, good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning. We're hearing you.
Yes, I'm so much happy in what you are discussing about.
Okay.
Yes, please, these herdsmen that we are talking about, they are coming from the far north. The borders are open, very, very open. They use them as tools for political motives. And they come when you go to Libya in Katsina, it's very open. When you go to Borno, it's very, very open. And they know they all have the identity of Nigeria. If you ask them, they will tell you they are from Katsina, some are from Kano State, and you won't hear this type of story in the far north. So whenever they go down to the south there, they kill people. They do this is a political motive. And I want to assure you, if this thing continues like this, how can Nigerians be killing Nigerians? It is a political motive. But one thing I want to assure you is that the Southwest has experienced it. The Southeast are experiencing it. The North Central, they are all Christians. So they cannot do this thing in the corners, which is very, very, very bad. And the government of the nation cannot take authority. They cannot take because of their interest. When it comes to politics, they all vote they all vote for one idea, and they cannot drive them. You cannot arrest them. The police will not go there. So how can we be existing in this type of country? So the only thing is that if we are to be in other part of the country that is producing this problem, you will see the forces, they will come and kill them and disarm them. But they cannot disarm them. Today you are hearing, tomorrow you are hearing. All is in the Christian area.
Hello, I thought Umba was making some good points there. I don't know why he had to be cut off there, you know. Umba is saying there are certain political motive behind this, just like you're saying, and I think some other person had said, that's quite worrisome. Is it an internal political motive or one that is guided externally?
Well, we cannot place our fingers precisely on it, but we can hazard a guess. And the guess is that we must admonish our people that when crime occurs, we must all come together, devoid of our ethnic, religious, or political divide, to condemn it and ask that the authorities do the right thing. It is not right for us when a crime occurs in a place to start looking for the ethnic sentiment, the religious sentiment, to lash onto it as a tool of division. Because when criminality occurs, it does not identify whether you are a Christian or you are from a particular tribe. So what we are saying in essence is that the state must rise up to the occasion of ensuring that the constitutional responsibility entrusted upon it about the lives of
the people,
property of the people, is thoroughly protected.
Okay, let's quickly go to Lokoja, the confluence state of Kogi, and join Abdul there. Good morning, Abdul.
Good morning, guys.
Yeah, thank you very much for joining us on the program. Quickly tell us, what are your thoughts on these happenings?
Okay, I'm from Kogi State.
Yeah.
Yeah, from local government area.
Very well.
I just have little contribution towards what you guys have been saying.
Yeah.
Hello?
Very well, I'm listening. Hello? Go on, please, Abdul.
Hello?
Abdul, go on, I can hear you. Can't you see me gesticulating? Aren't you watching? Okay, I think we have a connection problem there. It would have been really, really nice to get Abdul on the line.
The last caller before Abdul was alluding to the fact that this people came from the Far North.
Yeah.
We must realize the fact that...
And he talked about the porosity of the border.
Yeah,
I've been to Katsina, I've been to Jibia, and one leg in, one leg out. I was in Niger Republic and in Nigeria.
We have porous borders. That is why when the Inspector General of Police made that statement in Agatu, one would have expected that the government would have swung into action.
The Minister of Internal
Affairs, Interior, to make sure that
the immigration does not have a helicopter. They don't have light aircraft.
Where is the security?
But meanwhile, the governor of the central bank, the group managing director of the NMPC, they can fly chartered bombardiers.
That is the misplacement of priority from succeeding governments in Nigeria that we must not keep quiet about. That government must be responsible to the wishes and aspirations of the people. It is what has brought about this issue.
But that's what we are saying. The kind of governance we've been having is to steal $15 billion meant for arms and the rest.
Because we are all culpable. Because we have kept quiet. We have refused to speak out. Because when I want to vote, I'm waiting for who will give me
500
naira or 1,000 naira. Yes,
That
is why we are where we are today. That is because when we are commenting on issues, I'm looking at it that is this man from my tribe? Do we worship in the same religious denomination? That is why we are where we are today. We have all contributed to it. Unless and until we as a people rise up to do that which is right, that is when our land will know peace. If we continue to politicize, to run under the canopy of ethnicity, under the canopy of religion, we will continue to be where we are today, which is rather unfortunate and could be disastrous in the long run.
Very, very. Let's join Steve in Rivers State. He's calling from Port Harcourt. Good morning, Steve.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, thank you very much. Tell us what your thoughts are here.
Yeah, I'm calling in. Hello?
We're listening
Yes,
to
sir.
you. I'm
Good
getting
morning,
you.
sir. Hello?
Go on, I can hear you.
All right. I want to thank you first for anchoring the discourse going on presently.
Thank you.
Yes, I am a little bit concerned about some of the contribution of Mr. Nelson.
All right, go on.
Now, from the information I read about the last attack in Enugu, it was it was said that there was a rumor in the community, that about 500 armed Fulani herdsmen came into the community. And true to it, that same day, this attack happened, And we've been hearing of such attacks, majorly in the Middle Belt, the Southwest, the South-South, and the Southeast, And the Fulani herdsmen have been saying that the reason why they are attacking some of these communities because of the cattle roasting, people steal their cattle and all that. But I'm also informed also that this roasting also go on in places like the far north, the northwest, and so on. But you never hear of the Fulani herdsmen invading communities in that region. So this whole thing is giving credence to the thought that this thing is only happening in the Christian-dominated areas, and also that is only happening, in the southern part of Nigeria. So I want to think that all of this happening, is not a mere coincidence. But nevertheless, if the security agencies are not up and doing, the easiest thing to suggest is that communities should kind of create some kind of self-defense. It is easier for you to attack a man who is not harmed. But when you know that the person you want to attack has some measure of self-defense, you will be conscious before you attack him. So the idea of just waiting and doing nothing about it, just as the law enforcement agency are not doing anything about it, people keep dying, killings here and there, and we say let's just leave everything. I don't think it's a good option. But there should be community policing or vigilante, some form of self-defense, so that when these people know that the people they want to attack may have some measure of resistance, I think it will minimize this kind of
casualty.
That we are hearing every time.
Yeah. All right, thank you, Steve from Port Harcourt. Self-defense, now that's what the people should resort to.
Let me first of all respond to Steve.
Yeah.
That the cattle rustling does not happen in the north. It's not correct.
No, he said it does happen, but you don't have this kind of killings.
No, that is
there.
not correct.
So are you saying the killings in Benue State, in Enugu, in the south is as a result of cattle rustling?
No, what I'm saying is that this...
No, do we have cattle rustling in the south here?
We could have. What is happening in this matter is that even the media have underreported this issue. I watched a documentary on one of your sister stations where the issue of cattle rustling was discussed, and you need to see how some of the herdsmen were lamenting the killings of they and their families, how families were wiped out. So what we are saying is that cattle rustling was a genesis for this program that we are witnessing now.
In fact, we should say is a genesis.
Yes.
That should be in the north. Not in the south.
No, the cattle rustling happens everywhere. Criminality happens everywhere. What we should do is to admonish the security agencies to do their job. Like now, the one that happened in Enugu, have you read or had reports in the past where herdsmen will inform the community that we are coming to attack? This is a new dimension. That is where we should be disturbed. that this issue has so many undertones that as laymen we cannot put our fingers directly on. That the government must wake up and be able to get to the root cause of this new wave of attack. Because you can see from some of the callers, they are expressing ethnic sentiments, they are expressing religious sentiments, which is very, very germane in this climate. Because the issue of ethnic and political tension is a reality that we cannot hide away from.
Okay, we can't hide away from it, but we can go over to Enugu State and join Johnson. Good morning, Johnson.
Yeah, good morning, sir.
Yeah, well, what part of Enugu are you calling from, please?
From Enugu, from Old Park.
From where?
From Old Park.
Okay, Utak, yeah. Go on, tell us, what are your thoughts on all these incessant killings and the rest?
You see, the way these things are going on in these countries is alarming. I can't really understand the kind of government we are running in this country. I don't see in any constitution whereby a certain region is permitted to carry ammunition and guns and be parading the street, and people are seeing them, and nothing is being done about it. I'm quite disappointed in this present government because the way they are going about all this. Look at our even president is traveling all around, going about why his house is on fire, and he's not doing anything. And even the Inspector General of Police is not doing anything. In fact, I am disappointed in this government. Thank you.
All right, thank you. That's Johnson from Enugu.
I think at this point we should be looking at the way forward. We have said it over and over again that the issue of security should be decentralized.
Calling for state police?
I'm even calling for a local government police if possible.
And if that is available, things like this wouldn't happen?
Yes, it will be limped in billboard because the people are the ones who are feeling the pain. And also, we should look at the issue of pastoral existence of nomadic herdsmen. It is high time the government, the various state governments, this is the issue of animal husbandry. It's a lucrative business, and I'm not sure there's any part of this country where they don't eat rams or cattle or whatever. So it behoves on the states who are constitutionally entrusted with land ownership to start looking up for ways of setting up ranches where these herdsmen can bring the cattle to nurture, rather than this transversing.
So you are in support of the grazing bill?
I don't know what is in the grazing bill. I don't know what I'm saying. My own suggestion as a citizen is that we should be looking at setting up ranches.
That's each state, Abi?
States, yes.
Each state.
The states that so desire, so that the threats to lives and property.
And when they set up the ranches and the rest, taking the people's land, right? And how do you tax them?
The state has ownership of land constitutionally that we cannot hide away from. If the state is going to take your land, it behoves on the state to pay you compensation.
To compensate you.
Yes.
Okay, let's just quickly take Isaac from Nasarawa. Good morning, Isaac.
Good morning, Mr. Christian.
Thank you very much for joining us.
I appreciate what you people are doing, and I want to chip in my offer.
Please do.
You see, Nigeria should stop being hypocritical.
Okay.
We're in trouble in Nigeria. You see this issue, if you look at the history all over the world, the Islamic terrorists operate under the Christian name.
Sorry, Isaac. Okay. Hello? I'm so sorry, Isaac. The line wasn't really too clear. I knew you started from, we're being unduly hypocritical and the rest. I wish Isaac can really call in, because he was making some vital points, but I was just missing it. But yes, Kujimi, you're talking of, the people securing themselves, state police and the rest.
Police, yes.
Yeah.
And
you think that's a solution?
It's part of the solution to our security challenges. But that does not mean if we have state policing or local government policing, that our security challenges will disappear. It will still be there, but we'll be able to reduce the level of casualties we'll be able to reduce the level of security challenges that we are presently experiencing. I'll give you a vivid example.
Good.
In my street, there was a day, I'm the secretary of my CDA, Community Development Association. The women on my street, just one afternoon, they saw some group of boys milling around the street. Before they called the police, they called we, the CDA executives. We were the ones that first of all sprang into action to identify those boys in order to take the report to the police. Because a lot of our people don't even have access to the police station. Some people in communities don't know where the police station is located. Some don't even have the understanding that they have the right, when there's any security breach, that they have the right to go and report. So security is about trust. The people will report to those that they trust. Because I live on that street, because my family is on that street, because I know if any havoc occurs, I could be a casualty. I sprang into action.
Please, I'll just put you on pause. We'll continue from there if we join John Paul in Ghana. Good morning, John Paul.
Good morning, Mr. Ogodo.
Thank you very much. Where are you calling from in Ghana? Is it in Accra or Tema?
No, Chris, I'm calling from Kumasi, Ghana. Thank you.
Kumasi, that's beautiful. Now tell us, do you experience this kind of wanton killings by Fulani herdsmen in Kumasi or anywhere in Ghana?
Yes, they are here. We are hearing it. We are watching them. They are even here. They are doing the same thing here. They are causing crises and these problems here as well in Ghana, more especially within Ashanti region. But all the same, I thank you very much for your program. Chris, I love your program and I love you so much. May God bless you.
Thank you.
And your colleague then.
Thank you.
Chris, this problem of planning has been in the whole West Africa. But you see, Nigeria is a secular state. And Nigerians, it can happen, and it happens in Ghana. That we know the system. There is nothing like a discrimination in Ghana or tribalism in Ghana. That is number one. Christians and Muslims, they are eating in one pot and they are living in one room. They are sleeping in one bed. Yeah, a Christian can marry Muslim here, Muslim can marry Christian here. So in Ghana, it's not a problem. We know how we regard it. When it comes, we call it Fulani problem. Yes, but Nigeria is a secular state. Nigeria is a country of many tribes.
Yeah.
And those tribes, Nigeria recognizes tribes. It's not like Ghana. Yes. So, but another problem in Nigeria, as I see this Fulani herdsmen now, we call it Fulani herdsmen, Fulani herdsmen. I don't see it as a Fulani herdsmen. I'm seeing it as another Boko Haram coming with different tactics. Because if you watch this, most the places that are causing this mayhem is within the Christian kingdoms. Yeah, it doesn't happen in far north, in corners, as you said, within middle better down to east, south, and so on. So if government doesn't take time around this time, this thing will run out of hand.
Absolutely.
I'm seeing it as another Boko Haram.
All right, thank you, John Paul from Kumasi in Ghana. He says it's another Boko Haram. He says in Ashanti region, the Fulani herdsmen are causing the same kind of
He said it's a West African problem.
Yeah.
I think the last caller's statement is very, very instructive. That
the ECOWAS heads of state should be review this protocol of free movement.
Free movement, definitely. And the truth of the matter is that even though the ECOWAS protocol allows for free movement, the ECOWAS protocol does not allow for you to carry arms from one territory into another. That is a lapse on the part of our security, which we must not mind sword, stating clearly that this is condemnable. But the truth of the matter again is that we must admonish our people that the resort to ethnicity and religion on criminality is very, very wrong.
Because there's something very germane that John Paul said, that the Christians and the Muslims, they eat from the same pot, they intermarry, they don't have the kind of scruples that we have here in Nigeria.
Some of us are married to women from Muslim homes. And because we are married, they become Christian wives. They go to church with us. They give birth to babies for us. Some of us are Muslims and we are married to Christians.
And there's a crossover.
There's a crossover. So what is the problem? It is just because the people have refused to love one another and have trust in one another because of the break.
But there is trust lacking too in government about.
Even in the families, there is lack of trust. Not even in government alone.
Okay, Praise from Enugu. He's rejoined us again because the line went off. Then thank you, Praise, for calling back.
Yeah, thank you, Sir Chris.
Yeah, go on.
The words I wanted to do is that what about our sportsmen that came in the incident? They were shooting on the air, and they saw those Fulani enter into 3 vehicles and went off. What did they do? When our security can't even arrest them or intervene, what they have to do is to start shooting on the air so that they can go home. Are we safe? When the security is present, they can't even arrest them personally. They have to leave them to go back like that. It's fair. And our guest there was there talking about that we should not harm ourselves with weapons. When I normally saw Fulani walk around with guns. Can he walk around with guns in the name of cattle, rain cattle?
Okay, but Praise, you just said here that you heard that after the attack, the Fulani men went away in 2 vehicles. So they didn't have their cows around.
Three. They didn't kill with cattle. They just killed with 3 vehicles and did this thing. And after them, they called the police, and the soldier came immediately and started shooting on them. So they have to leave them. It's because the police came and came to start shooting and gun on them. This incident could have more than, like I heard the police and social development was saying that the casualty was 6. But now they are saying that it's 46. Whereby we are in Enugu are saying that it's more than 46, up to 100 people have killed, not like that.
All right, thank you very much.
Nigerians are not telling us the truth. That is the important thing. Our government are not telling us. Our government is not helping the issue. It's not we civilians at all. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Praise. Ekujumi, you just want to, wind up on all that was saying. Look at what Praise has said. He said they came in 3 vehicles, caused the havoc, and they zapped away.
When an incident happens, you hear different versions from different witnesses.
No, you got this from a survivor, a survivor who is a church member.
That is what I'm telling you. I think the veracity of that statement should be investigated by the security agencies if we know what we are doing, because of the consequences of this action on the society as a whole, as well as our international image. So it behoves on us, like I've stated rightly, that these so-called people that came in 3 vehicles, what was their motive for attacking that community? Were their cattle rustled there? So those are questions. Then again, those are questions we must demand answers for. And again, is this type of attack the pattern of herdsmen that they will give notice that we are coming? Again, is that how did these attackers come into that community? I'm sure they didn't drop from the moon. And if they came with vehicles, don't those vehicles have numbers? Don't we have security agencies on the roads? What is the essence of our intelligence?
There are no roadblocks anymore. No police roadblocks.
There's no police roadblocks, but we police are on the road. The police, as part of intelligence gathering, the police should be on the roads in mufti that people cannot easily identify. For intelligence gathering, that is what security is all about. Because if we have our intelligence gathering mechanism up and doing, this type of incident would have been prevented.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you, Nelson Ekujumi. a social commentator and a rights activist, ever fiery, ever, you know, calling a spade, you know, not a spade a shovel, and the rest. Thank you for joining us on this program, and we'll continue to empathize with the families of those loved Nigerians, you know.
But we admonish them to please at all times keep the peace and admonish the authorities.
And let the security agencies do their job.
Because it's good for our society to be peaceful and orderly, and not we, the citizens, because of what has happened, to take the law into our hands. Because like I said, an eye for an eye
would lead to blindness.
Lead to total blindness.
All right, thank you very much to all our teaming viewers within and outside Nigeria. John Paul, who called from Kumasi in Ghana, Praise from Enugu, Festus from Delta, Nelson from Benue, Isaac from Nasarawa. A big thanks to you and those of you watching in the comfort of your homes. That's our program today on Core Digest. Remember to join us tomorrow for another interesting edition. And on behalf of the entire production crew here, I am Christian Obodo saying thanks for watching and bye-bye.
You can now watch Core TV News live from anywhere in the world on our website www.coretvnews.com. Click on Live TV on our website and watch us live.
And welcome to Core TV Primetime Days.
To follow us on Twitter, click on Twitter icon on our website. On Facebook, click on the Facebook and YouTube to see all our previous news production. You can also watch us live on YouTube. Click Core TV, leave a space, then News. Core TV News, a 24-hour news station.